Good morning, church. We are some of the Open the Book team. You may recognise us by our lovely tea towels on our heads. And we are here this morning to do the Bible reading, which is taken from Acts chapter 2. And it's all about the Holy Spirit coming on the disciples for the first time. And I'm going to hand over to Pauline now to introduce our story and to tell it to us.
Hello, everyone. Our story today takes place after Jesus had gone back to heaven, leaving his friends behind. They must have been worried and confused. Jesus had told them to pass on his story to everyone in the world. But how were they going to do that? He'd promised to send them a helper. But what did that mean? So let's open the book to the story called The Helper Arrives. Jesus told his friends to wait in Jerusalem, to wait for the helper he'd promised to send them. So they waited. They waited and they prayed for 40 days. And while they waited, the streets of Jerusalem filled up with people from every land, people from the north and people from the south, people from the east and from the west, people from all around the world who came together to celebrate the feast of Pentecost. Jesus' friends were in an upstairs room when suddenly some surprising things began to happen. They heard a wind blow harder than the fiercest storm, but nothing was blown about. They heard the flickering of flames and they watched tongues of fire lick and lap and land on their heads, but nobody smelled any smoke. And then the helper came, the Holy Spirit, and he filled them all with the presence and the power of God. And what they heard next was talking, strange words pouring out of each and every mouth. So they rushed outside, eager to tell the crowd what had happened. And now suddenly everyone could understand. People from the north and from the south, people from the east and from the west, people from all around the world. For now, Jesus' friends were able to speak in foreign languages they had never learned, all because of God's Holy Spirit. What better way to tell the world about Jesus? A man from Spain said,
"So that's what it's all about."
A woman from Africa said,
"That's amazing."
And a man from France asked,
Tell me again.
But there were others who thought that Jesus' friends were just talking nonsense. And one man shouted,
"These people are drunk. It's nothing but a load of gibberish."
And that's when Peter stood up. Peter, who had been with Jesus from the start. Peter, the fisherman. Peter, who had never made a speech in his life. And he shouted,
"Listen, everybody. We're not filled with wine. We're filled with something else. God's Holy Spirit. Many years ago, a prophet said this would happen, that God would send his Spirit to help not just special people like prophets and kings, but everyone. That's happened to us today. And it's happened because Jesus, who died on the cross, was brought back to life by God himself and now sits beside God in heaven. It was Jesus who sent this wonderful gift to us. Jesus, the special one we've been waiting for all these years. Jesus, who was put to death by you.
The people were sorry for what they had done to Jesus, and they cried out,
What can we do?
What can we do?
What can we do?
Peter said,
Tell God you're sorry. Let him wash away all the bad things you have done, and you will receive the Holy Spirit too.
So that's what the people did. 3,000 of them. They told God they were sorry. They were baptized and they were filled with God's Holy Spirit. People from the north and from the south, people from the east and from the west, people from all over the world.